Fredi, good morning. Good to see you, man.
Good morning, guys. Always good to talk baseball
Yeah,
with you guys.
we want to talk to you not only about the Orioles season in general, but about Brandon, who is a candidate for AL Manager of the Year, and I would say, if not the favorite, certainly one of the favorites to win the award.
Yeah.
You know, when I ask you this kind of general question about Brandon's style and why it's had such an impact on this great young roster, how would you respond to that?
Well, he's been given the opportunity to grow with the team, which it doesn't happen in our sport, right? 3 years ago, I think we lose 100 and something games, and then in 22 we win 83, and then this year we win 101 games, and we've seen so many times where the guy comes in and takes the beating for the first couple of years and loses 100 games, and he gets fired when they start getting good. I think the Angelos family, I think Mike Elias has recognized that this guy has it, right, and Hyder has it, and has given an opportunity to grow with the club, and he's taken full advantage of that. He has a great pulse in the clubhouse with the guys. He grows with them, and it's been fun watching him mature as a manager.
Yeah, hey, Fredi, it's Harold here. Great to see you, man. I love seeing you. Good talking to you again. Off of that point, you've been a big league manager. I wonder, was there ever a time or a situation where you went, wow, I wouldn't have handled it that way. I love how he did that. And you see that difference.
Absolutely, and I could go back into 2020. It was my first year, right, as a bench coach with him. And you remember that 2020 season, we had social unrest in our country. We had the COVID stuff. And I'm sitting there watching him handle all these situations. And I'm like, wow. This guy is, I don't know if I could have handled it after having 10 years of managerial experience, and he handled it perfectly. And you're right. There is some things that I see that he handles it better than I would have handled it, 10 years ago. And I learned from him. I think his relationship with him and Mike Elias has been tremendous. They've grown together as a great partnership, and it's been fun watching them.
If you had a chance, and you do right now, why should he win the award tonight?
Well, I think he should have won it last year. After getting 31 games better than the year before. That doesn't happen in our sport. And then everybody's saying, you guys there's no way you guys are going to be better in 2023. And we ran down the Tampa Bay Rays, right? And with 101 wins. So he should win it. It shouldn't even be other candidates for me. He should win it hands down. Tampa goes on this crazy first month and a half of they couldn't lose a game, and by the last series we played here, they caught us, right? And everybody's thinking, okay, that's the end of the Orioles. The Rays caught us the first two games, and now we got a tie in the American League East, and then we come back and to give Hyder all the props, we come back and we won the next two games, get back a two-game advantage, and we win the division. So for me, there shouldn't be any other candidates for him to win this Manager of the Year award.
The young talent on the Orioles, Fredi, I don't have to tell you, it's just so overwhelming, and there's more to come, we understand. I guess in terms of the immediate future, we just anointed an American League Rookie of the Year as an Oriole, first one in a long time. I think Greg Olson was the last one in '89, so Congratulations to Gunnar on that. But Jackson Holliday's coming. So, who moves? Like, you guys have more talent coming than you do spots.
Yeah, you know what? This game will figure it out, right? We'll figure it out. The great thing about Gunnar is he could play both sides of the left side of the infield. He could play third. He could play short. I know Jackson has been playing short and a little second base in the minor leagues. But if you hit like these guys could hit, we'll find a spot. There'll be a spot for you to play. I had the pleasure of spending a couple of weeks with Jackson in big league camp. He came up, and I was not only impressed with his baseball skills, but his maturity I think at the time he was 19 years old, and that was fun to watch him for those two and a half, 3 weeks. I have never seen a player go through the minor league system like this guy has gone through the minor league system. He goes from A ball to AA to AAA, and he succeeds everywhere he goes. So, I don't know what's going to happen next year, but I know that it's going to be fun watching this guy, hopefully, knock on the door for us next year.
He's special talent, no doubt. Hey, I want to ask you, we're seeing guys go from coaching or bench coach to the manager position. And here's my question with that. I was telling a story the other day when Bill Plummer became my manager. I didn't even want to take ground balls from him anymore. It was a different look I had. It's a whole different relationship. So what's the challenge from going from that coach to a manager that these guys are going to face?
Well, great question, Harold. And I lived it, right? And I wasn't Bobby Cox's bench coach. I was his third base coach. But he took me in on everything that he possibly could have to mold me as a manager. And all these bench coaches, they all know the X's and O's of the game. They're smart. They know the analytics. They know everything about baseball. The thing that nothing prepares you is the relationship that you're going to have to build with the general manager, the relationship that you're going to have to build with the ownership, the amount of time that you got to spend with people. You're going to have people knock on your door and they want to spend 10 minutes of your time every single day. And there might be 10 or 12 of those people. So the time management for these young managers, it's the hardest thing for them to adjust. And also, talking to the media, you talk to them. I think we might be the only sport that talks to the media twice, before the game and after the game, every single day. So I would just say that nothing prepares you. And, Hyder and I were as prepared as you could be to manage a major league team. We managed the minor leagues. We went through winter ball. We went instructional league, and we went from A ball to AAA and coaching the big leagues. And that was the hardest thing for me, was the time management.
Fredi, I want to ask you about the 4 times, just 4 times, when Brandon was ejected from a game. He gets run, and somebody hands Fredi the lineup card, and you get your hands on it again. Oh, I love this feeling again.
Yeah. No, not really, Matt. Believe me, it's like, oh my God, why did you just do that? It's like, I see him go out, and I'm like, oh, here we go, and I'm going to have to manage the rest of this game. And it's like, you know what? It's not your team. It's not your, you don't have that feel for it. You're prepared the same way that he prepares, but it's like I roll my eyes, like, please don't. I'll tell you a funny story. We were in Oakland a couple of years ago, and Mancini gets thrown out of first base, and he gets thrown out of the game. Hyder goes out. He gets thrown out of the game, and we had a couple of coaches on COVID protocol, so I was coaching third at the time because Manzolino was on COVID protocol. So now he gets thrown out of the game. I got to go to third, coach third base, and manage the team from third base. So for like 5 innings.
We're back to your minor league days.
Welcome back to the Texas League.
Right, and which was okay, and I'm giving signs, but we were in Oakland, and you know how far Oakland is from the first base dugout. So I'm giving signs about warm this guy up, this guy, don't warm him up, and at the end of the day, I can't remember now the score. At the end of the day, there was a nice bottle of wine waiting for me in the locker. I am sorry, but the last thing I want is to manage a game for him. When he gets thrown out of the game. I did manage a game when he went to see his daughter graduate from Syracuse this last summer, and Tyler Wells threw one of the best games I've ever seen him throw, and it was, I think we won 2-1 or 1-0, and that was fun. But those ejections in the middle of the game, I want no part of them.
Hey, one thing you said early on, I'll let you go on. This is my last question. When Tampa came back, caught you guys, and everybody was saying, I remember, oh, this is it for the Orioles. Was there a team meeting or anything like that where Brandon brought the guys together and said, hey, calm down, we're a good club? Is there anything like that?
I don't think it was a team meeting. I don't remember that, but I think his presence, right? The way he came out that third game of the series, and his presence and the way he just walked onto the clubhouse or took batting practice that day, we knew that it was like, okay, there was no panic. There was no panic. We're going to play the game, and we did. And I think, Harold, this game's hard enough to play, and let alone when you have to worry about our managers going up and down the roller coaster every single win. And that's one thing that Bobby has taught me, and I think that's one thing that Hyder has. No matter what we've won 5 in a row or lost 5 in a row. He's the same guy, And I think as a player and coaching staff, you look at your leadership and go, okay, the Rays have caught us. It's tied. We still have clinched the playoffs, but still we want to win the division. Let's see how our coaching staff and our managers are behaving. And he came in and led us, and we were the same people. And I think that gave our team a breath of fresh air to go. Okay, we're good. Let's go on.
Fredi, we appreciate your insights, man. You're one of the good guys in our game, and we really like talking to you. We wish you the best coming up on the holiday season, and hope to visit with you again soon.
Okay, guys, anytime. I love talking baseball.